Hey, brother. Welcome to the long term podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Bobby Cooper, everyone.
Hello.
So, what was the turning point that made you commit to working out and prioritizing your health?
For me, it was like always something that I'd had like a on and off relationship with. Like I played football in high school, and that sort of like got me into the athletics and stuff like that. But I'd always been like a big guy, and after like so I'd always been like in and out of the gym, but I never fully like was super serious about it. So it was kind of just like one day I was like, dude, you're really fat. Like, we should probably do something about this. And I just started going more because like I still like been in there occasionally, but I just started going a lot more and just eating better food and all that. And it just sort of started to happen. It was, it wasn't like a super big specific thing. It just was sort of like a bit of a more gradual process that I just decided to start taking a bit more seriously.
So what made you like start? Was there like an event that kind of happened, or did you just look in the mirror one day or feel something one day?
It'd been like I've been feeling a certain way about it for a while, and it was a couple of years ago. Actually, my parents they went to BC for work, and they were going to be gone for like a couple months. So that was going to be the longest time I've ever gone without seeing them. And I sort of had it in my mind. I was like, oh, what if you just went crazy when they were gone, and they came back, and it was like, a bit of a difference here, and that was like a big motivator. And so I just starting that process, it just kept on going from there.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
how long has it been now?
It's it was a couple years ago that started, but like last year things were they didn't go too well on that front. But the start again of this year, so I'll say this. I'll say it's been since the new year, I've really been kicking back into it again. But when this initially started, it was probably about March 2023. And yeah, I was going good at it from like March 2023 till like September 2023. And then I don't even know what happened. It just completely kind of fell off. And 2024 was it was a bit of a write off almost. And then 2025, with a little help from some other people, I sort of got the kick in the ass to start going again. And we've been back strong since like January, going at it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I've been seeing you every night pretty much.
Thank you, man. I
And then
appreciate
I
that. Yeah.
respect the grind, man. And you're out there, and I see you pushing in some weights and
Thank you,
giving
man.
it your all. Because it takes a lot of courage to just put yourself out there, right? Even like opening up the Instagram that you have
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like showing others that, hey, no, I'm putting in the effort, and it kind of reinforces to other people that, hey, there is hope, right?
Of course. Yeah.
It's never too late for anyone, and you could just establish a life that is of health. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
No, of course, like always, there's never a point where you like can't do that, It's just a choice at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know many people say this with exercise, that that's the easy part. Now food, right, is the hardest thing to control,
Yeah.
right? And what is that experience like for you?
For me, it's like, yeah, definitely. Like the weights and stuff, like it's not super hard. I actually kind of enjoy going to the gym, but the food, like obviously I didn't get this way from lifting too many weights. So yeah, in terms of it, like there's some days obviously where I'll have like cravings like more intense than others, like want to just like binge and stuff like that. But it's just sort of like switching in like better health alternatives, like lower calorie options and things like that. You just got to find those things, and that does make it easier. And also, I don't do a diet that's like super like crazy. I don't do none of these like crash diets or whatever, like keto or nothing like that. Pretty much what I did is I just tried to eat less food and just better food, like just cleaner, real food instead of just like hitting a McDonald's every day. And
Mhm.
I find that's been pretty easy because sure, it's a bit more of like a slow process, but I find it's a lot more sustainable as opposed to just like going into something like really intense. And yeah, sure, you drop a bunch of weight and then all of a sudden you're ballooning back up again. Because that's what I did a couple of years ago. I was on a keto for about 3 weeks and I dropped about 30 pounds.
Oh
But
wow.
then Easter came around and I had some chocolate and I gained it back in like a weekend. So it's just like, dude, I can't do that again because it's just like such a fluctuation. So just like literally, I just eat like a normal person eats now, and it's just that's what I find is like the best for me. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your favorite go-tos when it comes to the healthy foods?
I have this little concoction I made. It's basically it's these like frozen packs of this like rice, chicken, and vegetables from like Costco. It's just this like single. I think it's like called like yakitori rice or something like that. You just throw it in the microwave, and I put some shrimp in with that as well, and some hot sauce. So good. That's probably
Mhm.
like my go-to dinner. And all in all, it comes out to maybe like 500 calories, something like that. It's like it's not even bad. I would say that's my go-to. Um, there's like these lean turkey pepperoni sticks I have all the time. They're like 50 calories per. Those are really good as well. And eggs. I'm a big fan of eggs. I tend to have those every morning for breakfast, and I've not gotten tired of them. So those are probably my go-tos, which is good because those are all just things that I enjoy eating anyways.
Yeah, man, eggs
Yeah.
are goated, bro.
Oh, dude, they're so
Love
good.
me some eggs. I used to have them four eggs every day, but now I just limited it down to like three eggs
Mm.
just to save.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But how do you stay motivated on the days when you just don't feel like hitting the gym?
I'm kind of lucky because I've built it to like a routine and I've just gotten in sort of like a schedule where those days are pretty few and far between. But obviously, like some days I still have those. Um, like days like that, what I do is I just get myself to the building essentially. And sometimes I don't fully hit weights on days like that where I'm just really not feeling it. What I do is I'll just hit like an incline walk on the treadmill for like 20 minutes, something like that. And that, still gets a good sweat going. It's still a full workout. But yeah, for me, it's just like get yourself to the gym, to the building itself. And from there, like usually a workout will happen in some shape or form. But I'm lucky because I don't really get too many days like that. But yeah.
Yeah, getting there, right? And you've already been gone through all the work of getting ready and driving
Yeah,
there. You might as well hit a workout.
of course.
Like I've never had it once where I arrive at the gym and I just cut it short, right? Unless I have to be somewhere at a certain time.
Yeah,
But if I'm there, I might as well engage in all the exercises and leave there with a purpose,
of
you know?
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your favorite exercises?
Uh, I've recently been getting back into the barbell bench
Mm.
because like I didn't do it for too long because it was you always had to find a spotter and stuff like that and like so I wasn't doing it for ages, but recently I've been getting back into it and I just hit 225 for the first time a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
So
nice.
I was kind of like frig yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I like stuff with triceps because I just find that they just feel the best. I have it's like a cable pull down. You just sort of fix your arm and then just grab the cable and pull it down like that. I do like an ISO version. I really enjoy that one. Just it feels great. And honestly, I enjoy hitting legs too. I find like everyone
Mhm.
that gets really scrutinized. Like everyone's always like skip leg day, but for some reason I don't know, man. I like the feeling of it. Like the curls and the extensions. I don't know, just because I honestly like when you're like leaving or the next day and it's like hard to walk. It's just like yeah, I hit that. Feels good and all that.
Yeah, a big uh the best barometer to know where you're actually putting in the work and gaining some progress is through the fatigue of the muscles and through the
Mhm.
lactic acid, right? And
Yeah,
feeling kind of like unable to get up the stairs and unable
yeah,
to lift certain things when usually on days where you're not sore, it's easy, right? It
yeah.
knows that once it all heals, it's you're gonna be even stronger after that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's good. I love the soreness.
Yeah. It's a great time to when you push yourself as hard as you can and
Yeah.
you can just feel the fibers breaking, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So have you discovered any workout styles or routines that actually make the progress enjoyable rather than a chore?
I have like a pretty basic one. I don't really go too like crazy outside of the zone with it. I tend to warm up with some cardio, like elliptical or the bike or something. Hit that for like 10 minutes, usually like a good sweat or something, and then I just hit. I think it's probably a pretty standard like bodybuilding routine or something like that. Just like chest and tries, back and bis, legs, shoulders. I like to throw some forearms in there. I don't know why. I've always just really liked the idea of having like stacked up forearms, so I'll just throw some of those in there too. But yeah, it's nothing too crazy. It's I'm kind of lucky because like lifting weights is enjoyable for me. Like it's not something that I'm like, oh, I gotta go lift. It's like, oh yeah, let's go lift. So I get kind of lucky on that front and just getting in to do that. It's all of it I find is relatively enjoyable. Yeah.
What do you find it enjoyable?
It's just I don't know, just like the feeling of like getting the sweat going and like your muscles working and like knowing that doing this is like making an improvement and like making yourself better. It's like, yeah, finally, dude, maybe we can get rid of this, Like so all that stuff, it just feels good, and obviously you get like real dopamine from doing it. And then like when you're done a workout, you leave and you're like, dude, yeah, feel great. 100%.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people that are on the heavier side wanting to get into working out, but they're too, they're scared of what other people might think, or they don't have the belief in themselves?
Yeah, man, I would say for that, like no one at the gym is looking at you and judging you. Like for the most part, the gym is a very like cool place. And obviously like everyone, first of all, no one is going to be paying attention to you because they're all focused on their own workouts. And if they are, it doesn't matter, and it's mostly going to be in a positive light because I found nothing but encouragement going in there. Like people do, like sometimes people come up to me and they're like, hey dude, like respect and all that stuff. So I've never had someone come up and be like, fat ass, like
And dude, if they did say that, man, they're in trouble.
I'd
Like,
honestly laugh.
yeah,
I'd be like,
no.
okay bro, like
Yeah, and then it's like if people do that, it's more of a reflection of them,
of course,
right? Like you
yeah,
see someone here putting in the work and you're judging them for it.
yeah,
And usually that's not the culture that we uphold at Millennium Place,
oh of
right?
course,
I
none of
mean,
that,
like, you know how we met, right? It's just
yeah,
encouraging each other and talking about the workouts
yeah
and
man,
uplifting each other.
Mhm.
There's no point in destruction. It's just
Yeah,
you both lose,
of course,
right?
there's
When you
no,
when you go out there and you purposely try to push other people down to boost yourself up, it's like no, because then with that mentality, somebody's gonna do that to you, and you're all just trying to doggy pile on top of each other,
of course,
and everybody's suffocating,
yeah, it's
right?
just nobody wins by doing all that.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, it's I've never had any problems with that. It's in terms of a big guy, like people are always accepting and like encouraging. And in terms of like having belief in yourself, like, you know, when you're first starting, you're gonna be pretty weak. It's just how it goes. So like don't feel bad about it. Like, we all start somewhere and you gotta start building up.
mm-hmm.
Like a couple months ago, before I started benching again, I was like, oh dude, it'll probably be ages before I hit 225. But then like, no, it happens, you get stronger, and it's a gradual process. So like don't feel bad about it. Like start slow, start working. You're gonna learn more as you go along. And yeah, the whole, just trust the process. And then eventually you will get stronger, and thus comes more belief and confidence in yourself. So it just start essentially, and all that stuff will come. It'll all show up eventually.
Yeah. Action is probably the biggest antidote to the chaos that we ruminate in within
Yeah,
ourselves, right?
absolutely.
Because you can ruminate on what other people are gonna think at the gym, and even then, right? They unless they actually physically hurt you, right? It's like they're not doing anything,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the biggest enemy is your own mind,
Yeah.
right? Because
100%.
you're the one that's making a narrative as to what other people are thinking, and maybe it is true, maybe it's not, but it's like you're your biggest own limiting factor, because either you go in there and you do the work or you don't, and
Mhm.
that's on a myriad of reasons as to, okay, maybe you have low energy, maybe you have this, but whether the action is done or not, it's all up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm fully with you there.
And yeah, no, I struggle with a lot of negative self-talk, right? And I think it's less the problem of other people, it's more in me, right?
Yeah.
I find when I'm there, I'm criticizing kind of my skin, the way I look, and is this even right? Why am I doing this? I forget all that, but it's the constant reminder,
Yeah.
right? Of like, I know what it's like on the other side. And it's by not going to the gym, man, I suffer more.
Oh, yeah.
But in the short term though, it's just a lot more gratifying to just sit there, put on Netflix, having done nothing throughout the day,
Yeah.
and there's this guilt right in the back of your head, and it's just like,
Yeah.
if you haven't done anything throughout the day, it's like, oh man, I could have done something. And if you expand this to your entire life, it's where people talk about like deep regrets, right? In their deathbed. It's like, I don't want to be that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Like the day, like last year when I was finding it, like pretty hard to go, like that was all I do. Like I just sit there, and then sometimes like whenever I wouldn't go, I'd just be, and it'd be even worse because you're just sitting there and you're like, oh my God, like I feel like so trash. And it was just like a cycle that kept like repeating, and of like, I'll go tomorrow, I'll start next week, and all this stuff, because and I think it was even worse because at that point I had already started the weight loss page. So in my mind, it was like, oh, people are seeing this and now they're all going to be like, Bobby stopped posting, Bobby stopped going to the gym. What a dork. So it was just like that thing of like trying to get back to it, and being like, oh, everybody, I'm like, it was almost a thing of like letting everybody down. But at the end of the day, it's just like letting me down, So all that stuff. Yeah. And then just sitting there and trying to like, honestly, it was rough.
I feel that too, man. When on the days that I don't work out, as you know, I also have a fitness page.
Yeah.
And I am constantly posting there. And the days where I don't go, it's like, oh man, people are gonna think I'm soft. They're gonna think I'm a pussy. But really, nobody cares. People just like, the way I see on the bus on the way to a campus, the bus 414 at Bethel. I just like to sit, relax, and meditate, and the bus is packed, and I get to observe people's behavior when it comes to their phone. And dude, people don't pay attention to posts because our attention spans are so frayed that, like, if you may be thinking that this picture is the best of you, or you may think that there's somebody zooming in and out and analyzing every single part of the picture, dude, most people are going to look at it for a second. And then that's that. Maybe, if that. And then maybe your close friends are going to encourage you, leave a heart or a comment, and that's that. But I think, going back to the self doubt and that guilt that we feel, it's all self-imposed, right? And if we just learn to let that go, to make it so that life isn't on brutal mode. Because the way I see it, man, I've been thinking about this a lot, is every time you wake up, right, you can either put life on like easy, normal, hard, kind of like at the beginning of a video game, when you go on a campaign and it's like you're COD, if you're like Call of Duty campaign, and there's like easy mode, brutal mode. And for a lot of us, we just put it on brutal mode. We wake up and we're looking in the mirror and we go, fuck, I didn't get enough sleep, or fuck me, I'm a loser. You go downstairs like, oh man, why would anybody want to talk to me? Or, oh, like, man, life's going to be so difficult, know? But then there are days where you put on easy mode, and a lot of this could be subconscious, where you go, oh, wow, I actually have it in myself. I have agency. I can look at the world through a lens of good and positivity, and I can actually make a change. And sure, my life's fucked up in certain ways, and maybe I think of that childhood trauma a little bit sometimes, but hey, I learned something from it, right? And we can all kind of choose, I don't know, like, it seems a bit like woo-woo, like crazy for me to say, because like there are like real problems out there and all this, but in this day and age, especially in first world countries, I think we're competing for our minds, our own minds.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah,
no, that's solid. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's tough to regulate that, but how has that been for you? Like, is it like, does your mind kind of, because when I was around 2020, around 2021, I had my mental health was like down the drain, man, just like screwed up. And I developed this. I was never actually fully diagnosed, but I had developed this like eating disorder. And anytime I'd be really stressed, like I was really fit, I was still going to the gym a bunch,
Yeah.
but I would consume, dude, like 3,000, 4,000 worth of calories, man, in like an hour.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it was just like, I think it was compounded by the guilt and kind of the lack of kind of just being kind to myself, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't really know it at the time. I just kind of went, okay, we're just going through the motions now. And I just let life happen to me.
Yeah.
You know, I just let life happen to me. And I just like, I was so miserable, you know, it doesn't happen anymore, but like I still get into those like thought loops, you know, how do you combat that if you ever do get anything like that?
That's a good one because I don't know if I've necessarily like figured it out. I find like honestly, like it does happen, but literally if I just go hit the gym, I leave and it just like it's gonna sound kind of like lame to say that, but that's kind of just what it is. Like because I definitely do get that. Or like lots of times if it's like late at night, it's just like, bro, just go to bed, you know? Just
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like it's late, bro. Just go to sleep, you know?
yeah. Like the late night thoughts, right?
Yeah.
I had heard it from this guy where you shouldn't trust your thoughts at certain points throughout the day
Yeah.
because maybe it's like lack of food, maybe it's just lack of sleep, or maybe it's just the neurotransmitters in your system. So yes, a lack of sleep will help that.
Yeah.
And yeah, the gym is the quickest way to just bypass all that and reach some level of peace.
I do find that, yeah, because just like after workout, you're feeling good. You know, you did the work. You know, that's it for me, man. Yeah, I find that just really helps me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Something about just like pushing yourself as hard as you can with just because that's the only thing you can think of, right? It's like you can't think about anything else.
Yeah,
And then after that, you tip onto the pain side, and then on the other side, it's freedom.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that's true. Just you know, when you're working and you're getting better at it, there's no choice but to feel better about it. You know, that's how I find it.
If you could give yourself advice 2 years ago, what would you say to yourself?
Just remain consistent because and like don't because I think what happened was because yeah, from like March till September, I was dialed. I dropped like 50 pounds in like 6 months, something like that, just based off working out. And I think it all just kind of went off the rails in like October. Like I got sick for a little bit, so I wasn't going to the gym. And then I went on vacation after that. And then I came back and it was Christmas and all that. And I think I just sort of let all that like walk over me. And it was so hard to get back to like where I was. So I think what I would say to that guy is just like, dude, just remain consistent. Like, you know, so what? You got sick. Like, you're better now. Get back into it. Oh, you went on vacation. That was 1 week. Now it's time to work. There's like a whole month between now and Christmas. So, you know, I found I just was, I just let that sort of take over. So I would say like, just keep working through that and just remain consistent in those areas. Cause like I could have been, you know, obviously there's no point in ruminating on what could have been, but like, you know, I could have been a lot slimmer than I am now. So I would just say to him, like, dude, just keep going. Just don't let those things like hinder you at all. And just keep working, just keep going.
Yeah, there are going to be bumps along the way, and I relate to that too. Is whenever there's something that I need to do, I'll make it so that it's a Tuesday. I can't start on a Tuesday. I gotta go on a Monday. Give myself a little break, right? Or when you look at the time, it's like it's 1:31, right? I gotta make sure it's an even number.
Yeah,
you gotta,
100%.
Yeah, I gotta make sure it's aligned perfectly. But perfect, it's what even is that?
Yeah.
That's like the self-imposed definition that you have in yourself.
That doesn't really just happen.
yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
gotta make it.
Yeah. I've heard this twice now, and it's at which point is an oak tree perfect, and like when you look at plants, when you look at like the like a dog, it's just they're just there, like they're just in that period of time, and we seem to look in ourselves, we go, oh, by this time it's going to be a perfect time, or I'm going to be perfect at this time. But no, like you're not going to be, there's no perfect time, because that's all self-imposed.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
you get to define that, and it's like it's all just accepting where you are right now and doing what you can to progress despite the chaos that might uproot in your surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1000%. And that's why I found like it was pretty hard to do that last time. And like it was literally just like those couple months, it resulted in like almost a year of just like not. So I don't know, it was pretty hard. Luckily I had a couple of my boys, and they sort of took me aside and they're like, bro, like like what is this? And I was like, ooh, like it was, they sort of like, and that helped a lot too, like having those guys there. In fact, I would say like that they're the reason why I was able to like get back into it, that initial kick, because they sort of took me aside and they were like, what are you doing? What's happening here? Because I had gotten, I'd ballooned. Obviously I'm still pretty wide.
But I see the muscle, man. I've seen you gained a lot of muscle in like the recent months since like we've started talking last year, right around last year.
Yeah, I think so.
And I noticed like you just gotten a lot more muscular.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that.
No, really. I see you put in the work, man. And it's just like, I'm not going to invite a person on the podcast who's not in that mentality, who don't have that dog in them.
I appreciate that, bro. That's sweet, man. Thank you.
Dude, you're going to look back at this podcast, man. You're going to be like, whoa, like that was Bobby Cooper.
Yeah.
That's like you've already made so much progress. But then it's good to have like a cool reference point, and that's like kudos to the fitness page and kind of the drive. But going back to the friends as well, the way I see it when it comes to like family and friends is this is like reality right here, this line.
Mm-hmm.
And we deviate from it all the time. Fucking video games, fucking overeating, fucking sex, porn, you watching too much combat sports, watching too much YouTube, movies, Netflix. And our friends see that. And when they're level-headed, they can see clearly what's going on.
Yeah.
They go, hey, Bobby, Advin, get back here, man. Like you're deviating too much from reality.
Yeah.
And when that happens, they reel you back in. You're like, oh, thank you so much. And it's a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so much a struggle, because it's like, oh, you fucking call me out? You think I'm a pussy, or like you don't know me, it's like there's that little bit of backlash. And I think it's so important to have friends and family, right, to be able to be there for us, to like see, hey, how are we doing? Because I tell this to some of my friends, man, they know me better than I know myself sometimes.
Yeah, I get that.
It's crazy. Yeah.
No, I feel that.
Yeah, were they harsh? Were they like, Bobby?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh my God, dude, it was bad.
Were they like fucking calling you like a fat ass or something?
No, they were like, dude, you're gonna die young. And I was like,
fuck, even worse.
And I was like, you right? That's crazy. Like, it was bad.
But it's all out of love, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? Yeah. Like
no, it was like really tough to hear, but like, and in that moment, it almost went into like a state of just like, because I wasn't expecting anything like that, and because one of my friends, one of the guys who did it, he went on a vacation in I think like October or something like that, and he was not supposed to come back until like mid-January, but he came back a bit early. He came back like right around Christmas, and he said to me, he was like, I've been gone for like 2 months, and I come back and there's like a big difference in you, and not in like obviously not, you're not getting slimmer. So, and like he said that, and then they were like, yeah, they like put it on, and like it was really tough to hear, but like I feel like I did need to hear it, and that's probably why I'm able to just keep like continuing in the gym. Like yeah, but it was intense.
Those are real friends, though, man. They care about you. They want to see you with everyone 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
absolutely.
It's just the friends that don't give a fuck. They just want to see you get worse and worse because it makes them feel better.
Yeah.
But it's like you're hurt when your friend's not doing well. Like you want to be able to be there for them. And sure, it hurts because I've had a lot of friends come at me too and be like, "Hey man, like you're a bit too much. You know, you're not being kind. You're just being. You seem like you're very angry. I don't want to be around somebody like that."
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just like, "Hey, you're too hard on yourself." And it's like, really? Like, no. It's like it sounds so bad at first, but then when you give it time to actually reflect on it, these are people that care. Because like the friends that don't give a fuck, they just want to drink and they just want to party and they're there for the good times. But they don't look at life holistically and go, okay, how can this person and live happier, healthier, and better? You know, when it comes to the relationships that they have, when it comes to their success, career fulfillment, right? I find that usually the people that are there for me, all just in good times, are just not friends. They're not real friends, you know. Versus the people that are there for you in like the lowest of lows, which I've been in, and they're the ones that have pulled me out. That it's just like, and they don't even have to say anything sometimes, right?
Yeah,
it's just like maybe they say that harsh thing, and then they just spend time with you. You know, like whether you guys play video games or something, or just get a workout. Yeah.
No. Yeah. That I feel that 100%.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely real. Like it sucked to hear it at the time, but then like, literally like the next day I was like, all right, they were kind of true about it, but it's definitely needed.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, dude, I'm really thankful to have met you, man. It's I'd love to hear the story, man, and it's filled with a lot of courage, and it's always great to see you at the gym, man. So
Thank you.
Always good conversations, and I'm getting into a lot of combat sports lately because I've been listening to more Joe Rogan and Dana White, and I just love those guys, man. They just like if I were to like look at masculinity, like I'd look to like UFC fighters and like all the stories that surround that focal point.
Yeah.
That the space is just so humbling and it's so inspirational.
Yeah. Right? Those guys are crazy, man. But like in definitely a good way. Like, you know, like some of the stories where it comes from. A guy I look to a lot is Khalil Roundtree. He's one of my favorites right now. Like absolute dog. Like he has a big Muay Thai style, which I'm a big fan of. And he was talking about how he used to be 300 pounds and now he fights at 185, shredded. Like he was able to like drop all that weight like through MMA training. So like, I'm a big fan of that guy. Like that dude's sick.
Yeah, I love the stories where like they were like poor or just ridiculed from another country sometimes.
Yeah.
And they just like overcome that. And it's just like with combat sports, though, the biggest thing that kind of scares people, right, is all this surrounding stories of like the CTE, the concussions, like the actual, like your brain is just getting turned into mush.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like, that's a given.
Right? They knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know,
they're going into it, dude. And it's like some of them don't have choices. Right. It's just like they go into it and it's like, I need to do this for my family. I need to do this to have a better life, a better future for my daughter. And I think I saw this post. I forget the name of the fighter, but he was left. I'm sure you probably know this fighter. He was left by his wife or girlfriend at the time, and this was after the wife gave birth to their daughter who had who was a special disorder. And then like years later, he's just carrying the daughter.
Yeah,
he's like
I think that champion. Was Deontay Wilder.
Yes. And I'm like, stories like that. I'm like, damn, you've overcome so much adversity.
Yeah,
and like literally looking across the octagon, right? You get to see like this other person who's in the same, like got nothing to lose, right?
Yeah,
willing to beat the shit out of you, and you're willing to beat the shit out of them.
Like that's a crazy place to go to. You like just and doing it in front of like so many like thousands in the arena and like the millions watching around. It's just like, dude, that's got to be like a crazy place to go in your head.
Dude. I just remember this clip of Izzy Adesanya like getting, I think it was after a fight, and he grabs the mic, looks at the camera, and he goes, "To the people of Earth, if you guys could just experience this level of happiness just one time, and I just thought, whoa, like,
I remember watching that live.
yeah,
I was in Brewhouse, and the because like he fought Alex Pereira, and I was rooting for Alex, and he
yeah.
knocked him out. And when he knocked him out, I was like, I didn't. I was like, damn. And then but then he got on the mic and started like dropping that, and I was like, all right, that's badass. Like I gotta
That
like
was
that
badass.
was
Yeah,
sick. Like I gotta
yeah.
give him that. But no, that was that was wicked.
That was, man. It's just like, man, like these fighters, dude. Yeah. Who's I know we were talking about it at the gym. Like that guy who was 300 pounds, 108 to 180 pounds. That was your favorite part? Like favorite fighter?
He's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite fighter is like it's always just like a Rolodex essentially, just like depends on the day. But Khalil Roundtree, he's always one of them. I like Alex Pereira too. He was he was alcoholic working at like a tire. He was an alcoholic by the time he was like 13 or something like that, working at like a tire shop in Brazil. And then he found kickboxing and was just like destroying people. And then he actually that he has a cool story with Israel Adesanya as well, because they fought each other a couple times in kickboxing and Alex won. And then Izzy went to the UFC and became the champ. And one time in an interview, they were asking him, they're like, oh, this Alex guy, he knocked you out in kickboxing. And he was like, yeah, whatever. That doesn't matter. I'm going to be champion. And he's going to be sitting in some pub one day watching me on TV. And like, just, he's going to be like, oh, I knocked that guy out one time. And then because of that, Alex Pereira went to started like doing MMA, or he was like right around the time he was starting to do MMA.
Yeah.
And then he made it to the UFC and beat Izzy for the belt. Like, and it was like, dude,
yeah.
that's nuts.
I wonder if that would have unfolded if Izzy didn't say that. Hey, because I wonder there's that level of like drive that makes you just want to like prove someone wrong. Like sure, a lot of people will say, oh, talking shit, that's all for like a publicity stunt. But man, some of these talks, some of these like comebacks, or like some of these shit talking, it's like deep, bro. It's like, I don't know if that's just acting.
They say some stuff where it's just like, oh,
whoa, that's just like about your mother, or about your like your this is like some background private information. Where could you have gotten this? And it's just like it's all confirmed after, and it's like that's what partly draws people into the UFC, right? Because we're drawn into stories. We love it when before a fight, like there's already all this like back and forth as to like, oh, what he said this, and like they met here, and like they're what, like all the tweets.
No, it's definitely adds to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's sometimes when they say some stuff where I'm just like,
is that
like,
a bit too far?
Like, don't say that, man. Like, have you heard of Colby Covington?
No, I haven't.
He's kind of like the king of doing that. Actually, he's got sort of a cool story because he was he was a good fighter. Like he would just like he would win a lot, but he didn't have much of like a exciting personality, which like you got to have that as much as you got to be a good fighter. And even though he was like winning his fights, they were like, yeah, I think we're going to cut you after this next one. And he went out and he won his next fight in Brazil. And then he got on the mic after and was like, Brazil, you're a dump. You guys all suck. And everyone was just like,
really?
Whoa!
To the country.
To the country. And like, and then they were like, fuck? Yeah, you got something, kid. And they just like he became like a big star after that just by being a huge prick. And like, I don't necessarily like him because like.
Even a bigger prick than Sean Strickland?
I think so, yeah. Because Sean Strickland's just kind of weird. Whereas like Colby, I think he's just fake. It's like very clearly putting on a character, and he'll just say like the most like heinous things to be like, I'm just selling the fight, bro. Like he talked about like a guy's dead coach one time, and like
what?
Yeah. And there used to be a fighter named Matt Hughes. He was like one of the first like real stars in MMA, and I think in like 2017 or something, he was involved in like a train accident. Like he was in his truck on train tracks and it like hit him and he was like paralyzed for a bit.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And then Colby fought one of his training partners and like said some line. He was like, you might want to take a a lesson for your buddy Matt Hughes and get off the tracks when the train's coming through. And it was just like,
Oh
bro.
my
So yeah,
gosh.
he talks about like dead people and all. Like I don't think he's not a good
Yeah,
guy. Like he
yeah.
goes too far. So it like definitely it was a funny story at first where he was just like Brazil sucks, but then it just went so deep into this like
Yeah, they're talking about dead people, and
yeah,
it's
it's just
just
like dang, bro. Like
that's off limits, buddy.
yeah,
Like
for
maybe
real.
maybe you shouldn't be talking about people's dead comrades. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't like him. He's a prick.
yeah. That kind of, speaking of like fake personalities, that kind of reminds me of like Mayweather, in boxing.
Yeah,
It's kind of, I think he's kind of devoid of that personality, and it's all like about money and fame. But
yeah,
like I don't know, with when it came to Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather, like a lot of the Filipinos were like just wanting Mayweather to fall, because like he had this like cocky attitude that he could like do anything, and he just
yeah,
dodged all the fights, or dodged all the punches. But it comes to a point though where it's like you don't actually know this person, but it's just like it's like a tactic. It also makes, like, when they act like a prick, or and then the other person doesn't, it's like puts it into like a good and bad type of deal,
yeah.
and we root for that, right? We
Of
want to
course,
see like the bad guy fall and the good guy win.
absolutely.
But lots of the time the bad guy wins. And
Yeah,
it's like that's the beauty of fighting, and it's just
yeah.
like the amount of work that you put in, that's what you're gonna get.
Like the good versus bad type thing. I got
Mm.
one that actually just happened about that. Did you ever hear of Bryce Mitchell?
I think I've seen clips.
Okay, basically he got himself in some real hot water earlier this year because he started his own podcast, and I think it was in within like 5 minutes of the first episode he was like, I don't think Hitler was that bad, and was just like
He said that.
basically like he was like, I think his exact words were like, before he did all the meth, I think Hitler was the guy to go fishing with. And it was like, whoa,
Whoa.
dude, like
I don't know if it's
I don't know
that
if I agree with.
justifies
I
like
don't.
all the killing and the
Yeah,
Holocaust.
I don't know if I agree with you on that. And then, basically, he just yeah, like, and obviously, a big chunk of the MMA community was like, okay, fuck Bryce Mitchell, like, and I'm pretty sure that's warranted. But it was weird because there was also this like sort of vocal chunk where they were like, Bryce Mitchell's so good, and it's just like, where you're outing yourself as a Nazi. Like, what are you doing?
True.
Like, that's
Yeah.
so. Anyways, it was a week or so ago. He fought this dude named Jean Silva, this Brazilian guy who is part of this group called the Fighting Nerds, and they're like the up and comers right now. Like they are taking over, and he came out and like choked him out in the second round. Jean Silva choked out Bryce Mitchell in like the second round,
Yeah.
and I was in the bar watching. I was like,
Yes,
yes,
satisfying.
like
Finally got what he
get
deserved.
his ass, man. Like, oh, it was so good to see. It was like literally, it was like that, like good and evil, and like good, like how much more of like a caricature can you get? Like you're literally like beating a Nazi, like Oh my god, it was so sick.
That's
I
funny.
was like, get his ass, yes.
What drew you into combat sports, and how has it impacted your fitness journey and mindset?
So I've always been on like the periphery of combat sports because ever since I was a kid, I had friends who would train it and like still do, and like they're really, really good. So and they would always kind of be like, oh, you should you should try it out. But I was a wrestling fan when I was a kid, and so there was this like dichotomy between it because obviously MMA is real and wrestling is a performance, and I was like, I like wrestling more. Like this martial arts stuff is lame. But obviously, as you grow up, I sort of gave it a bit more of a chance. And I sat down and watched a UFC card with them one time. And I was like, shit's sick. Like this is badass. And like not long after the COVID lockdowns ended, they said to me, because one of them, he's like an instructor at the dojo now. Like he's that good. And he said, dude, I offer private lessons. Like you can come over to my house and we can just like, screw around, see how you like it. And it was a Muay Thai class. I put the boxing gloves on. He taught me how to throw like just like the basic combinations and all this stuff. And I was like, I kind of like this. Then I went into the dojo, and yeah, it was just from there. It was just like, oh, this badass, and I really started to enjoy it. But yeah, I haven't gone in a little while because at the current moment, it just like things have been just going really well with the gym, and like the membership is a bit expensive. So it's just like, I do intend on going back to it soon. But as of right now, I'm working in the gym and I find that's good. But yeah, that's what sort of drew me in. I always was on like the outer edge of it, and they just kind of drew me in, and like I'm like, yeah, boys, thanks for that. That was sick.
I started working out when I was like 16, and I was a natural at it, built some size. I
Yeah.
was friends with this guy, and he was like 20 pounds lighter than me, but he did Muay Thai.
Mhm.
And we did a little bit of wrestling and like during a sleepover, and this is in like grade 10, grade 11. And dude, like my strength was just incompatible with the being able to put him in like out maneuver him, because something about Muay Thai, he just put me in this like chokehold and I couldn't move no matter how
Yeah.
strong I was. I benched way more than this guy, and I was like physically I was way bigger, but just like it's crazy just how like the technique that you learn within combat sports.
Yeah.
It's just like a person that trains regularly, whether they be a boxer or within Muay Thai or any martial arts, and you pit them up with a person that has no training in fighting,
Mhm.
maybe some street fights here and there, stands no chance.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you see these fighters and it looks so easy, right? It flows so well, like just the way they go about things, but just like it's so difficult to actually fight someone that's a professional.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's wicked. Yeah. Like, so the buddy who actually got me into it, he is like he's very smaller guy, like he's very skinny, like sort of bit tall and lanky, like he's like half my size. And one time we were like screwing around and we were doing like some grappling, and like, oh my gosh, dude, it felt like I was just like a fly, just like bzzz, just like around me. I'm just like, dude, what the heck is going on here? Like he's like putting me in chokeholds and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, like it's nuts.
Yeah,
and
you're essentially a rag doll against people who do train regularly.
oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's the most unassuming guy ever. Like you look at him and you're just like, who's this guy? But it's like, oh, he could just like kill you with his hands. Like he can just do that.
It's like John Wick walking around Walmart.
Yeah.
It's just like, geez, if you test this guy, he'll fucking kill you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Have you ever considered competing, or is it more about personal growth and fun for you?
If I ever got to a point where I was good enough to compete, I would absolutely be down for it. Like that seems like, yeah, I would.
Bro, the boys would all watch you, man. Everybody at Millennium, dude. That's what I was just like with Devin and Joe. You know Devin and Joe, right?
Yeah.
Like the big guys lifting a bunch.
Yeah.
And like even I get excited for when they talk about their lifts and them wanting to go into meets.
Mhm.
Like I want to show up there. It's like something cool. UFC on the other hand, that'd be like a next level. If you were to like actually compete, dude, everybody would show up, man.
I did do like just a open tournament in the dojo one time. In the fat guys division, just had
there's a fat guys division.
Well, it was sort of like because they had like weight classes, and then I came in and they were like, yeah, you're above all of them. But there was a few other guys who were like pretty big. It was like 4 or 5 of us, and they were just like, yeah, you guys are your own little division there. And it was just like it was a little Muay Thai tournament, and I didn't come in last place.
Nice.
Second last. Let's go.
That's a win. That's a win.
Let's go. And I did get a medal from it. It's basically basically a participation trophy.
Man, it's still a medal.
We got it. Let's go. But yeah, if I ever got to a level where they're looking at me and they're like, dude, you should maybe try that out. Yes, sir. Like that, like that'd be sick. I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah. What has training in combat sports taught you about yourself when it comes to discipline or just motivation or just inspiration?
It's pretty cool because it's just like it's just fun, and it's just something that's enjoyable to do. Like I've always been a person who's been involved in sort of like a bit of a like rougher sports. Like I played football and then like combat sports now. Basically it's just like it shows you how you can just like how you can keep going, because at the end of the day, it's not like obviously getting punched and kicked doesn't feel good, but like that's not the worst part of it. It's like for me when I'm in there and I'm like 5 or 6 rounds deep and I'm just like I've almost sweat everything I have out of me, and you're just like, all right, keep going, like put up another round, like yeah, like that's when it's just like like you'll never feel better after like leaving. You can like barely walk, barely breathe, and you're just like but like, dude, you're just like, yeah, I did that, bro. Like you went in there and you threw some punches, you took some punches, and it's just like, it's gonna sound kind of corny because it's just like, oh, dude, you're just doing like weeknight classes. But at the end of the day, sometimes it does feel like you just went to war almost, especially if you have like a bit of a rougher sparring round with a guy. But yeah, no, it's really good in terms of just keeping just to keep pushing yourself, like just one more round, just keep on going, like, because that conditioning aspect and like, oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a power to being able to beat the shit out of someone and choosing not to do so.
Yeah.
Versus you just getting backed into a corner and you have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fight. Like one is seen as brave, right? One is seen as you're a coward, right?
Yeah.
And being able to armor yourself with the tools necessary to fight and the skills to knock someone out.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, whoa, you do not mess with this guy. Like,
yeah.
Those like really nice kind of MMA fighters, and they're just like, there's stories of them being seen in public and how they're like they're gentle giants, and those that's power, man. That's true power. And when it calls to them, they will just no doubt like kick someone's ass.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, when you learn those skills, it makes you less likely to want to get in those fights, because it's like, what that's about. And obviously you don't want to just like, you don't want to have to do that stuff unless you absolutely need to. So it's like, it's like the guys who don't know what they're doing and the ones who are like insecure in themselves and they're all like aggressive and stuff like that. They're the ones who are always like picking fights because they want to like prove how tough they are. But like the ones who actually like know what they're doing and could like kill somebody, it's like they're the ones who don't want to because they are about it and they know that it's not, it's not necessarily fun and games when you're actually like doing that stuff, because it's different if you're in the gym. But like if, some guy just like swings at you and you're in the street, like that's like jail time and stuff like that, like you don't, it's funny because learning how to whip someone's ass turns you like a lot nicer. Like I've heard of like parents and of like, it'll be like kids who are like bullies in school, and it's like, get them into a gym and they're like, why would you do that? Like, why would you give the bully like why would you give the bully an advantage by letting him know how to fight? And it's like, because in there, like if you're in the gym, he's probably going to get whatever is inside him. He's probably going to get it all out in training. And in terms of like learning that, it's like, it's going to give him discipline. And he's not going to want to do that anymore because he knows, So it's kind of funny how like doing something that most people would think, oh, it's going to make him a lot more aggressive. It's like just calms you right down because you know what you can do.
Yeah, the irony of it is teaching a bully makes him not a bully.
Yeah.
Right? Because the people that want to establish dominance, who are masculine, who are confident in themselves, don't need to tell everyone. They know in themselves, right?
Yeah.
Versus like, I know this when it comes to like rich people. Usually the rich act like they're poor and the poor act like they're rich, right? Like poor people who want to be seen as wealthy flaunt it by, renting out Lamborghinis and just having all these golden chains and just renting out mansions to pose photos. And versus you see like Zuckerberg or like Warren Buffett just walking around, in a t-shirt and just like some casual shorts. It's like when it comes to combat sports, you don't need to show people you're dominant. You show it by just competing and training, and you already know in yourself that you can match this person, that you're capable, but you choose not to. And that's discipline, right? That's like, I've heard Rogan talk about this all the time. He goes, if you want to stop bullying, just get everybody into martial arts.
100%. Like he's so correct about that.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, I still think WWE is real. So
It is.
the haters who say it's not,
No one can
that's
tell me otherwise.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, like I've seen blood. I've seen
Yeah.
yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
pal. What are we doing here?
So what got you into professional wrestling, and who are your all-time favorite wrestlers?
Oh, my bad. Hit the mic here. I just, when I was younger, I think I just like saw like, because I think my older cousins were into it a little bit. And so I'd like been seeing it for a bit. And then I think I was like 9 or 10. And I saw it on like YouTube or TV one time. And I was like, this is the shit. Like, this is
This is it.
badass, man. Like, I am about this. And then like, excuse me, like 2 weeks later, the same buddy who actually got me into the Muay Thai and all that, he was like, "Oh, it's fake, right?" And I was like, "No," but
Dude,
I was like,
I was so pissed at those people that told me
"Yeah,
WWE was fake, and it started popping up on my YouTube with like evidence. Because if they slowed down kind of John Cena's hit, and it missed the head, and I'm
yeah."
like, no, I just this is fake,
You
this
guys
is
know what you're talking about here. You guys don't know,
yeah.
but yeah. I was like, really, man? I can't even enjoy this for like a month, and then you're coming, anyways. No, but yeah, it's that was what sort of got me into it. Just seeing it and being like, just seeing like huge ripped guys like just throwing each other around. That sounded kind of sus.
Hey, man, I like that kind of stuff too, but it's manly.
Yeah, it's masculine.
Right,
This
masculine.
This
but
is
like,
testosterone.
but John Cena's looking a bit nice these days.
But
Yeah.
no, some of my favorites. I love Bret Hart. Because I'm mad biased because he's like the Canadian wrestler. I'm like, that's my goat right there.
Right.
Bret Hart, Kevin Owens. He's one of the newer guys. I met him a few years ago and he was really nice to me. Like it was sick. Also Canadian, which does not hurt. CM Punk, because I had a big appreciation for him when I was younger, and then he left wrestling and he was gone for like almost like 10 years. Now that he came back, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is so
Yeah.
sick. CM Punk's back.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, no, he was around by the time when I was really interested into
Yeah.
wrestling, because he was like the bad guy, right? Like
was,
CM
yeah.
Punk, like they kind of marketed him as like a person that like was just devious and
Yeah.
just can't trust.
He had some wicked characters going.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool. Excuse me. And this might just be because it's his retirement tour right now, but John Cena, because this is his final year. Tonight is his last WrestleMania match, and I'm just like, I hope because if he wins the belt tonight, he breaks the all-time record for the amount of times held the belt. So I'm kind of like, let's go, John. Get after
hopefully.
it. Yeah, those guys are some of my favorites, and just seeing it when I was a kid, it was just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, this is it. And it's just like I got lucky because I never stopped enjoying it, you know? But yeah, that's what it was for me.
Yeah, there's just the like seeing Randy Orton with that. He's not around now, is he?
Oh, he still wrestles, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
still going.
he's wrestling tonight too.
Wow. Like what's this move called?
The RKO.
The RKO, right?
Yeah.
Like seeing like their highlight moves and like testing it out on your sister, man. It's just like
Oh,
I
dude.
tested some moves on my sister, but she had 3 inches on me. Like she was like
Oh,
she's
no.
3 years older than I was. Like I was 6 at the time and she was 9. And dude, like I learned from the best, right?
Oh, I was the opposite, man. I got in so much trouble because my sister was little, and I'd be like, "Come here."
Oh, yeah.
She's like, "Stop!" And I was like, "I gotta do the F5.
Yeah,
It's
F5.
like, I'm sorry. Like, I'll do it on the bed. It's fine. Like, you're not gonna like hit the floor." And then she'd run and cry. My mom was like,
Mama.
"Stop it! Like,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm
Yeah,
locked in on this."
Remember, like, what's that Rey Mysterio move?
The 619.
Yeah, that one was wicked.
Oh my
Or
god!
like the Undertaker move where he like
The tombstone.
he'd put the guy upside down and then go
Yeah.
and then go on his knees and just crush the guy's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was just crazy, dude.
Rey Mysterio's son is wrestling now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dominic Mysterio.
Is he also wearing the mask?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a mask. The thing is, he and Ray like are rivals. Like they came in at the beginning and they were like a tag team. Then he joined up with the with like the villains they were fighting,
Oh,
and now he's
jeez.
grown this like greasy mustache and like this mullet and all this. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, my dad was a deadbeat and all this stuff. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
He comes out in the crowd and just hates his
That's
ass.
funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I love the stories that surround themselves, man. It's just like I also like it when they just start attacking the referee. It's like it's like
Leave him alone.
leave him
Please.
alone. Yeah.
Please.
Or the midget fights, man. Those are always
oh my god.
what's that? The Hornswaggler?
Hornswoggle?
Yeah, that one with that other guy, and it was like a tag team with
El
the-
Torito?
Yeah. Dude, that one was crazy, dude. I love that one. It was just
They like made just one time they just did a whole match that was a giant short joke. Like it was like a tables, ladders, and chairs match, but it was like short ladders, small tables, small chairs. The referee was short, and they had their own announce team come out comprised of like little people who were parodying the actual announcers. Like, oh, it was literally just like an entire like little person joke over the course of like 20 minutes.
Wicked.
It was
That's
hilarious.
Funny. That's so funny. Yeah, I did stuff like that. I just like, hits home. It's like really, it's just like not only was it just like badass, but there's also just like funny moments like that.
Of course, yeah.
It's just like it was cool. And you just like the moves that they show, it's just you want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And like they always say, don't try this at home, but come on.
No one
kids,
listens to
no
that.
one's following that. And like if you saw your favorite wrestler beating some other guy with the chair, that black chair
Yeah.
they always have, you best know I gotta try it.
This one time, me and my buddies were trying to make like YouTube videos as a kid, and it was like because they were the martial artists and I was the wrestling fan. It was going to be this sort of joke video of like wrestling versus martial arts, and I was like, dude, I can hit you with a chair. Like, I know how to do it and you won't get hurt. And they're like, bro, we're not doing that. And I was like, no, come on, I watch wrestling. I know what I'm doing. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, let me hit you with the chair, bro. And they were like, we are not giving your ass a chair, you freak. But yeah.
I'm going to do it anyways.
Tense up your back. Brace.
Yeah, dude. What they do is actually so like impressive.
Yeah.
Like being able to, you have to be an acrobat, an actor, and you have to sync everything. And it's like a live play.
One take.
Right? One take.
Yeah.
And it has to look believable from all angles and on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just in doing that in a way where it doesn't give somebody brain damage as well, which I'm sure they probably suffer a lot from as well. Because like getting your head hit, a lot of those blows, like yes, maybe they're scripted, but it's still real.
Yeah, of course.
Like it's awesome.
It's such a cool medium because it's like they're fictional characters who exist in our realm. They're like, if you go up to a wrestler on the street, it's not like an actor. Like if I saw Bryan Cranston on the street, I'm not going to go up to him and be like, Walter White, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah.
But like, if it's a wrestler, you go up to them and it's like, you call them by the persona. I'd go up and say, The Undertaker, it's so nice to meet you. I wouldn't say, hey, Mark, how you doing?
Yeah. Or
like it's so,
or like, I've seen so many videos about it. It's just saturated now where like they see John Cena, but they can't, and they're like, where's John? Where's John? Like, what is this?
Who's he talking to?
Yeah,
there's no one there.
Yeah, no.
But yeah.
Can't see me. How do you think pro wrestling has influenced your attitude towards fitness or self-expression?
Fitness, it definitely influenced it in a positive way because obviously like when you're a kid watching it, those are the people, heck, I still look up to some of them, but it's like you look up to those guys and you're like, oh, those dudes are the shit. And like, they're all stacked. So it's like, or at least in like good athletic shape. And it's like, oh, I want to be like those guys. So, that definitely influences it in that way. But yeah, that's, so fitness, it's a positive influence. Self-expression is a bit more of a tricky one to say because like, I've never done it before, but it gives a lot of, I think it gave me a huge respect for like performers and stuff like that. Cause like seeing the intricacies and all of it. And like once you gain appreciation for it, it's like, excuse me, it's like, oh, those dudes are sick. So it gave me a big respect for that. And in a sense, I think it also made it like myself, if I had to do like a performance, it made it easy. Like there was times when I like being in like plays when I was in school and all that stuff. It was always easy. If I had to ever give like a presentation or like public speaking in a sense, it was, it wasn't a big deal for me. So I feel like it sort of gave me an appreciation for that, and thus it made it not something that's like super hard for me to do, because in my mind it's like, oh, if those guys are out there like
Yeah.
doing flips and going through tables in front of thousands of people, I can get up in front of like 20 people and talk about a slideshow, you know? So I feel like it's helped me in that, like sort of giving me a skill of being able to like, you know, easily speak in public and stuff like that. It's not like a really hard thing for me.
Mm. By seeing your idols go up on in the ring, is it a ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
ring. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just jump off the ropes and
Yeah.
just do it being half naked and having a script and
Yeah.
seeing the world, seeing them. It gives you this wow factor of,
Oh, for sure.
whoa, anything is possible, right?
Yeah.
And we can place so much emphasis on this presentation, but what it comes down to is this is just small compared to, my idols, and they've kind of surpassed all the worries and doubts, and you could kind of just embody that, right? What would John Cena do, right? Or what would
Yeah.
CM Punk do, and with the mic coming out of their intros, right? And it's just like, I remember as a kid too, I did like the Triple H kind of. Remember when he did the X and he'd like have a bunch of water in his
Yeah.
mouth and he'd like spit it all over the place.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I did it so many times that I did it in public. I just didn't care, and it just built so much confidence in me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's badass.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah. If you had to come up with your own wrestling persona, what would your name, gimmick, and finishing move be?
It's morphed so much over the years. I think when I was like 10 years old, I had so many like sketchbooks filled up with like what I would be as a
Oh,
wrestler.
really?
Yeah, dude. It was all I thought about. Like I'd be in class, they're like, dude, can you like listen to the lesson? I'm like, shut up. I'm thinking about Monday Night
Yeah.
Raw last night. Like, but yeah, like I still do think about it sometimes, which is kind of funny. The name I like is I think it just kind of has a good ring to it. It's the name I just use for my social media, Bobby Two Chains. I think that would just be a cool
Oh,
name.
that's the origination, hey?
Well, it wasn't that. It was one time that just in the football locker room, there was one of my teammates just called me Bobby Two Chains, and I was just like, I like that. That's cool. I'm taking that. But yeah, I think I would use that as a name. And they say like the people who know wrestling and like people who are like in that business, they say one of the best like characters or like the best characters are just the person's personality, like just maxed out. So I'd try and find like, some, just like the most like captivating or like catching aspects of my personality and try to just like amp those up. I've always loved the idea of being a heel, like the villain, because you just go out in front of the crowd and just be a complete prick. And like the more the crowd hates you, they're like, yeah, you're really good at your job. Like they just be paid to go out and be like, I hate all of you. Like that'd be so much fun.
Yeah, dude. And just like that would help so much with just like absorbing negativity, because you just like
Yeah.
you get to flip it on and off.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Just like flip it off, and it's just like, oh, I don't give a fuck what everyone says.
Yeah.
You just like go out there and say whatever's on your mind, because I think for the most part negativity comes easy to us, and if you
Yeah.
can just like go about it and just portray every single interaction as something that's making life worse or this, and
Yeah.
then just like you feed off that energy, it actually fuels you. It's like, man, they're some of those villains, dude. They're living the life.
No, dude, you go out and just take your day out on this paying crowd, and they're like, and they pay you for it, and they're like, thanks, man. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. And yeah, dude, what do you got planned out for working out or just combat sports?
I'm gonna be going back to doing a Muay Thai class pretty soon here. Like I've had the itch back for a little while now. Like I want to get back in the ring and throw some punches and all that stuff. So I do intend on getting back to that pretty soon. For working out, I'm just sticking with my routine as it currently is, and hopefully the weight comes off with it.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just gonna stick with what I'm doing, try and remain consistent, and hopefully the results will come.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to have you on again. And thank you so much for coming on the long-term podcast, man.
Thank you for having me, man. This
Yeah,
was great. I
yeah.
enjoyed this a lot.
It has been a pleasure. It's been awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I appreciate you, and I look forward to the gains and success. And
Thank you,
yeah,
man.
dude, to more workouts in the future. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I wish you good luck with all this stuff here and the pocket. Like, you got a great setup going. You clearly take some pride in it. So I hope that all pays off for you, and I hope this does well.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this wouldn't be possible without the people that come on and share their stories and passions. It's like awesome. It's a good time.
Absolutely.
And as always, to everyone listening and watching, there is a place for you in this chaotic world. Never lose hope, strengthen your faith, and keep it long term. Bobby, Cooper, everyone. Peace.
Peace. Beast. Heck yeah, man.